What's up, everybody? Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button right down there. It's free. That allows us to keep coming to you guys as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button right there. It's free. Share, like, talk about us, be about us here on Unique Access Entertainment. Because today we have the honor and privilege of being joined by Darryl Pierce, LA Posse, Big Dad. Thanks for coming through, sir.
Hey man, it's all good. What's happening? Everything
Man,
is good.
I'm just glad we're both here today, man. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, man. This COVID is a trip, you know.
Absolutely. So, LA Posse, of course, is one of the most iconic production crews in the game, in my opinion, and has created and produced some of the best rap music, which I would argue is also not debatable. But with LL, primarily with LL, but then also a lot of the work they did outside of that. So we're going to get to a lot of that today. We had Muffler on recently, and Darryl and I did a best albums on Houdini. If you guys haven't checked that out, there's the link up there. So for today, Darryl, the thing that I really wanted to get at is with Breeze and that getting you guys to Def Jam, getting you guys to New York, and yourself, being a music guy, what was so special about Breeze before you started working on his album that made him someone that LA Posse wanted to get affiliated with?
Well, first off, one of my homeboys named David Petter, and kept telling me about this dude that could rap, because they all knew that we was affiliated with Uncle Jam's Army, and we was running in and out of the studio. So one day he brought Breeze to the house, introduced me to him, and he kicked some rhymes, and he was kind of dope. He kind of reminded me of LL. So Muff was giving a dance in the Antelope Valley, and I was telling him about these three rappers from the Valley. He suggested, I'll put them on the card. They'll come out and, do what they do. I'll call them the three fresh MCs from New York. And I said, yeah. So, when you do that, you check out who you feel is the most talented, and whomever it is, let's take them in the studio, because we had decided that we didn't really want to be rappers. So we was like, let's just do like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and produce rappers and stuff like that. So he was like, cool. So we went to the show. I wasn't there. Spoke to Muff maybe a day or two afterwards, and I asked him, his opinion, and he chose Breeze also. So, we got together with Breeze, talked to his mother, because he was a minor, you know what I'm saying? He was a kid. We took him in the studio and cut some stuff on him, and, it came out good. You know what I mean? While in the studio, he could just rhyme, you know what I'm saying? And that's what was just unique. He could rhyme. He had the New York flavor with him. And I kept telling him that I had a beat in my head, and this is the way that I produce. Like Dwayne produces more on the mechanical, technical stuff. I'll hum something to him, and Dwayne could program it. You know what I'm saying? So Breeze said, you know what, let me hear what he's is talking about, because he keeps saying that he's got a beat in his head. So I, beatboxed a little beat for him. He liked it. Dwayne liked it. Took a while to, program it. I think it was done on a, if it wasn't the 808, it was the Roland 707 or something like that. Came up with a cool track. He put some vocals on it. Even Bobcat, Bobby was in the studio with us when we were doing this too, and Bobby did a track or two. So we had some stuff on him getting that arsenal prepared for that day when we were supposed to meet with Mr. Simmons at the
Yeah.
BRE.
Yes. So since he liked it and ended up flying you guys to New York and getting Breeze on Def Jam, the thing that always intrigued me around the time a few years later when Young Son of No One was coming out, when I was learning that he was actually from New York, but with LA Posse, it made me think of Ice-T also being from New Jersey and then really getting known in LA. So
Right.
my question for you, as then someone who went from LA to New York to work with LL, what did you notice about the Breezes, Ice-Ts of the world that are from somewhere, go somewhere else, how that affects their rhymes, and then you guys going to New York to work with a New York artist? What have you noticed about that kind of change of scenery that affects you guys so much?
I mean, it's just different styles of rhyming. The cadence, what I'm saying, your breathing patterns. West Coast cats, they just rap different. And a lot of times the West Coast cats was trying to use East Coast lingo, East Coast slangs, word, fresh, stuff like that. And for Breeze, it was natural because, he was from Harlem. He was from New York. And, Ice-T, bi-coastal, he was getting, the best of both worlds also. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't go to New York to work on LL. That's not why we went to New York. We went to New York because Russell liked Breeze and announced Breeze as his new signing to Def Jam Columbia. And we just happened to be the crew that, found him, cut the demos on him. So we go to New York to start working on Breeze. So did I answer your question?
Yes. So
Okay.
my question is then, with Breeze, since he didn't come out on Def Jam, Muffler told me he had writer's block and all these different things. From your perspective, what happened to why Breeze didn't come out on Def Jam?
Yeah, I mean, he every writer gets writer's block and everything, but Russell just wouldn't put out any music. We did, man, I would say at least maybe 60 to 70 songs. If you can't find a single out of 60 to 70 songs, then there's something else wrong, because he had singles. He had great songs. But I think a lot of it had to do with our production also, because the people that worked at Def Jam wasn't used to our style and sound. And he never put it out. So we end up working with LL. LL's album comes out, huge success. We meet with some new attorneys. They get us a production deal at Atlantic Records. And a lot of the music and stuff that we played for Sylvia was music that we had did with Breeze on Def Jam. Coupled with the fact the Bigger and Deffer album was on the charts. So it wasn't difficult for them for Sylvia to realize these dudes know how to make records. And, she wanted to deal with us, but she also wanted that kid. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about it. We all talked about it. I went to Russell. I was like, look, if you're not going to do it, just let him go. I got a situation for him. And at first Russell was like, all right, cool. Give me 100,000 and 2 points. I thought about it. I was like, that ain't going to work. You should just release him. because you got enough music to put Breeze out and you can make your money back and everything. So we kind of like jacked him, you know what I'm saying? And signed a contract with us, and we was done with Def Jam at that point.
Well, what do you mean you jacked him if he wasn't going to put it out? Like, I don't understand.
I can't speak for Russell. I don't know why he never put anything out on Breeze. And it would have been the perfect time for him to do it, because there's going to be another machine pushing the other project on him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the reason was. It wasn't because they didn't have the material. You know what I mean? He signed Breeze. You know what I mean? Gave him in advance and everything, and sat on him, shelved him.
That was always one of the main mysteries. Once I learned that, it just baffled me because of that. But going back a little bit, since you guys to that point hadn't worked before you even started working on Bigger and Deffer, what I wanted to get from you, your perspective was, okay, you got Breeze, you moved to New York to work on this Breeze project, then you end up through happenstance, circumstance, working with LL. How, and of course this is, I assume, around 86-ish, but the question I have is, from a reality standpoint, in 86, LL is coming off radio. It's one of the biggest rap albums in rap history. You guys have never put out a song. How is that, like, how do you compute that, of the pressure or the wherewithal to be able to execute right off the rip with LL? Like, how did that even happen? You guys weren't Larry Smith. You guys weren't Rick Rubin. So how did you guys seamlessly work like that so efficiently and effectively?
I understand your question. And it's simple. What a lot of people don't know is that LL can produce himself. So when I'm not speaking for LL, but when they gave the green light to go into the studio, we didn't know LL. He didn't know our work ethic. But after a week or two, he was like, yo, you guys are nice, and he would come with ideas, about what he wanted to do, and would explain it to a creator like Mlef, you know what I'm saying? And before you know it, they banging on the drum machine. Todd would bring in a record and say, I want it to sound like this, like, he knew what he wanted to do. It wasn't, there was a few times where he made something on the fly, but normally Todd knew what he wanted to do. So he had experience from radio with Rick, but he said when he worked with Rick, he would just come in and a track would be made, and he would put his vocals on it and leave. And then he said after, a few times of doing that, he'd come back and the album is done. So he didn't get to go through the mixing process or anything. With this particular album, he felt in control because he was. Rick and Russell and them was shooting Tougher Than Leather, the movie. When they were done with Tougher Than Leather, they decided, okay, now we're going to go in with LL to do the album. And LL had already said, I'm not doing any more. My album is done. And he stood on that. We was nervous. We didn't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? But Todd was like, I'm not doing nothing else, man. My album is done. I got a crew. You know what I'm saying? We making slamming music. And, that was it.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
What's that 5 on your TV back with NWA?
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.